Alright guys, Saturday morning show, here we are, a little bit early, for a lot of people, but hopefully that doesn't deter people from coming to watch. Also, hopefully the Tournament of Legends doesn't prevent people from coming to watch. But that's besides the point. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of questions, walls of text, some new series coming out from Chronicles of Tyria, and, Saune's here for Saturday morning, so stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 93 of the Chronicles of Tyria podcast, a Guild Wars 2 podcast for fans by fans. I will be your host today. I am lagywn, and I am joined by the lovely artist and just wonderful person all around, Saune.
Morning.
It's Saturday morning, folks. It's 10 a.m. for me. It makes it, 8 a.m. for you?
Yeah, and I've had to be up for an hour to work with all the pre-show stuff.
She did,
I
apparently.
have coffee.
I got up a half an hour ago, but that's okay.
That explains why I couldn't find you when I got up.
Yeah.
Yes, I just drew a butt just for you, Tully.
Well, good morning to everybody that came out here to join us live. I guess it may be detrimental to our viewership this morning, but I'll let you guys know. I believe right now, actually, on the Guild Wars 2 Twitch channel, they are streaming, if I understand the time zones correctly, they're streaming the European Tournament of Legends, the PvP tournament, and the streamers, or the shoutcasters rather, will be giving away precursors and other items to those watching the stream. So if you check that out, you can also potentially win some pretty awesome items in Guild Wars 2. So I'd love to be watching it now myself, but we're here and I didn't check the timing, so just how it is, folks. But be sure to check that out. So, but we're gonna keep moving through this. So,
Yeah.
let's see. I didn't have time to grab a meme for this week because I was silly.
Yeah.
So, question of the week last week was a very selfish decision on my part to ask for logo designs for my cosplay group. And a shout out to Klob or Matt G, who was the only one who sent me something. And I have to get back to you because I have to show that to the other people within my group and figure out what they're, if that's kind of what they're thinking and whatever else. But thank you, I appreciate it. So,
I can.
I know, I can't relax. Okay. This is a fluid show, okay?
Huh?
We don't have to listen. This is what the show notes look like every time, and as you guys know, I sometimes don't shout out to iTunes people till way later in the show. But because Son likes to follow things to the letter as they go through the list here, if you're
Well, what's
listening,
the point of having a list then?
you know what? Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow and jump all around. It's just the thing. Um, but anyway, if you're listening to us on iTunes and you'd like to watch us live, most of the time it's Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/Chronicles of Tyria. But occasionally, it is on Saturdays, as it is today, at 10 a.m. on twitch.tv/Chronicles of Tyria. Next week is actually potentially another day when we would be doing this on a Saturday, but that's the North American Tournament of Legends, so I really don't know if it's a good idea, because I feel like we're going to have nobody again, because everybody's going to be watching that stream instead. But we'll figure that out today. We'll work on that. But anyway, we got a lot of mail, which is going to be the basis for most of our talks today, just because we didn't really get much information this week. You know?
Yeah. It was very sad.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of hoping for something.
Yeah, Renan's all like, we got tournaments. We don't need nothing else.
I mean, I guess the World v World tournament is currently ongoing, so that's something. But yeah, I had assumed we would have gotten, old school style, some sort of preview, a little video, because we heard the feature pack was like the big thing, right? And we got that last week. So theoretically, if they are sticking, which they haven't told us otherwise, which is why we're all expecting this, we haven't heard anything that they wouldn't have new content next week, so 2 weeks later. But they did come out with Gem Store stuff this week, which we'll talk about. But I'm hopeful for something next week, but who knows? I guess we'll just wait and see. But we'll jump right into the mail. I guess I'll start off with Klob here. Sent us a couple of mails. Hey guys, glad you liked the name, referring to Welcome Back Cotters. I figured it was a bit of a stretch since I'm barely old enough to remember that show. I'm actually the Klob that recently joined the CoT Guild in Guild Wars 2. I can never remember the numbers after it, but it shouldn't be that hard to find me. Thanks. Love the show, Klob/Matt G. And so thank you again. And then we got some more names, which has some pretty interesting ones that Son really likes. I have a few other ideas for your Let's Lore team name. Let me know what you think. The Prancing Pungalores. A new build is available. The Heroes of Shaymore, since you're all humans and all humans are the hero of Shaymore. Gwen's Broken Flute. And Error Invalid Authorization. The Trading Post Error. That was parentheses still. Some of these are great. I think Son loves the Prancing Pungalores. I think that's her current winner.
Yeah.
It might be a little difficult to make a sort of serious intro around a team name called the Prancing Pungalores.
Oh, come on. Like, we're serious.
Well, I wanted to have a pretty, an epic intro for that. But
that just makes it more hilarious, though.
I guess. Gwen's Broken Flute, I feel, is the one that makes the most, well, other than the Prancing Pungalores, makes the most sense because it's Guild Wars 1. A lot of the other ones are very Guild Wars 2, like the Heroes of Shaymore, and a new build is available, and obviously the Trading Post Error name. Those are all Guild Wars 2 related.
Yeah.
Gwen's
there's not really any new builds for Guild Wars 1.
And they didn't really kick you out. But that's fine. Thank you again, Klob. We will evaluate, and I have a strange feeling that the rest of the group is going to tell me that they like the Prancing Pungalores. So, I guess.
Just to fight you now.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll see. So far, I've got 1 for and 1 against. Well, 1 neutral, which would be me. But Son, you're going to take Pirate's long wall of text email, correct?
I am, because it comes complete with sound effects.
Yeah. Do you have the sound? I can pull them up.
No, I think I can do it. I just have to take my mic off and shove it into my speakers. That's all.
Alright.
I can do this.
That works.
Hello again, hosts. It's been a while since my last email, but I thought this was pretty funny in the end, so decided to make this mail. Ready for 3 topics? Here we go. Number 1, which is more of a story than a topic. You took my job! A few months ago, I was planning to do an LP, Let's Play, of Guild Wars 2, but before I could get a few peeps to do it with, the RP Chronicles started, and to be fair, his idea was, and still is, way better than mine. It's an RP-based Let's Play of sorts. Then I was thinking, what would be a good moment to jump in on LP of Guild Wars 2? I know, the big new update that will change the leveling experience. A few days ago, Amy comes to me laughing, saying that she got asked to do an LP for CoT of Guild Wars 2, just after the big update. This is his reaction. Followed promptly by, let's load that up.
It's like I heard in the beginning and it started to like fade out weird.
Oh. Basically, it was just the last part was a clip from, South Park. They took our job! That pirate notes to replace the word job with idea. So, we took your idea! We took your idea! They took your idea!
Sorry, we didn't know. That did explain why Amy was laughing hysterically when other than the fact that she does that all the time anyway, when I approached her about this. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah. So, Pirate continues, nah, I'm kidding. I'm really looking forward to the CoT LP, that's a lot of letters. And who knows, maybe I can learn something for my own LP later. Mwahaha! Winky face. Being on the topic of new leveling experience, did you guys see this post? It's a link to a Reddit that we're going to link in a little bit. It's about a player who runs into really weird things with the change in the trait system. Like, I need you to deselect that. I can't...
Relax, you're fine.
Okay, there. You're blocking half the letter.
You're a letter.
I am a letter.
Anyway.
The third and final part, I'm thinking about a new episode of Pirates Gold Making Tools. You guys think it's a good idea? Well, that's it for me. That Reddit post is really interesting, and he really recommends it. Pirate out.
Regarding gold making tools, yes, obviously everybody loves to be able to make money, and those videos always get a ton of views just because anytime you put in make money in Guild Wars 2, make gold making, it usually draws a lot of people to it, especially because they've been updated throughout, as the game has come out, because the gold making techniques have changed slightly due to nerfs and farms and champions and trains and things like that.
Changes in prices.
True.
Some things were really good money gathering things, and then the market tanks.
Yep. So I just linked that Reddit thread in the chat. Have you read? You read through this, right?
I skimmed it. It
Absolutely
was a lot of
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And for the interest of time, I'll just pull out the few things. So, for those of you who don't know, we talked about this before, and if you have been playing a new character, you'll know that, again, now you unlock traits at level 30. And to unlock the individual traits, you can spend skill points and gold, or you can do a trait quest, where you go and complete something, and then that unlocks the trait for you. It could be killing a boss, it could be finding a chest, it could be a map completion, something like that, which, in theory, sounds good. It encourages you to go explore a map, which sometimes you may not have done otherwise, get the full map completion, which gets you experience along the way. Doing all the vistas and the renown hearts and things like that, so that's great. My issue that I mentioned last week was that every profession has the same set of trait quests, which I guess on a playing together standpoint with a group of friends makes sense because you can all go to do the same one. and then
Yeah,
work as a
but
group.
if they had randomized it a little bit more, because right now it's trait line, like line 3, trait 7 is this thing across the
Yeah.
whole board. It's not like everyone can unlock a trait by doing this event. It's the same trait is unlocked by the same event.
hmm So here comes the real shocker to me, is for an adept level trait, which is one of the ones that you get in the first 10, like, your major trait where you can choose from the first 6, which is something, again, that you had access to theoretically with enough, that you would start getting access to traits at level 11, that at level, would that be 21, I guess, or 20, you'd have enough
Yeah.
points for an adept trait. So level 20, right, let's say. You need to complete map completion for Frost Gorge Sound, a level 80 zone.
Yeah, I don't. How does that work
Yeah,
when you're supposed to be you're supposed to be in your 30s at that point?
it would be, you'd probably, yeah, I mean,
Because assuming you were just dumping everything into one line,
hmm
then when do you get 1 point per level after 30?
hmm
No. Is that it? Or is it every
It's
5?
like every 5 you get a point or something. The person in
Okay.
here says, I hit the magical level of 36 and was cheered that I could finally get speedy kits as an engineer, so I wouldn't be such a slow bastard. I wanted to check how to unlock it. 100% map completion for Frostgorge Sound to unlock speedy kits. Yeah. And Tully brings up a good point in the chat. Also, things like killing the grub in Eternal Battlegrounds, you can't kill that by yourself. You need a Zerg. Again,
Oh,
not a great. I mean, you know, and again, that's if you can get into EB, and if you can get people to break off from the typical World v World tactics to focus on a PvE, if you will, piece of content that doesn't really do much for you or your world.
yeah.
I mean,
That's seriously flawed.
they do have the alternative where you can use gold and skill points. So he said, screw it. I'll use 10 silver and 2 skill points. Well, he said, I normally did what I would normally do at a level 36 character and use my skill points to unlock skills for my character.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any skill points. But then he said, think about it this way. Think about it as a brand new character. When you completed level 80 without, farming or doing anything crazy or with no prior knowledge of the game, how much gold did you have? And I mean, again, it's different, I feel, too, if you were, um, you know, from launch because things have changed and there are more sources of gold in the game. But how much gold did you have when you first hit level 80, Saune? Do you remember?
Um. Oh yeah, because I didn't even get my tier 3 until I'd been 80 for quite some time. I don't even think I. It was a huge deal for me to get my last trait book because that was a whole gold.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even think I had a gold when I hit 80.
I think I might have had like 6 gold tops when I hit level 80. And again, like I said, there were no champ bags. There were not all these other ways to get about getting things. But I mean, that's a lot of gold. So to put that in perspective to you for a new player, here's how it breaks out. Okay, it takes 177 skill points to unlock all of the skills on your character, right? And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
even sure if that's completely accurate because of the new skills that were added, the 2 new heal skills that may be
Right.
higher. I'm not positive. It takes another 360 points, skill points, to unlock if you were to just flat out buy all of the traits. So 537 skill points to unlock everything in the game.
Yeah.
You get 75 skill points for leveling from 5 to 80. And there are 202 skill challenges in the world. So that's 277 skill points that you normally access through playthrough of the game. And then it says that leaves you 260 other skill points to gain to hit if you wanted to just buy all of your traits and everything. So
Yeah, that's not cool because like a lot of those activities they're level 80 things. Like I'm sure EV, that's a level 80 thing.
I mean, if you ask any world, the world are absolutely bringing an up level into Eternal Battle.
Yeah.
But I think it comes out to 43 gold as well if you wanted to buy every single trait from all the Grandmasters all the way down. And again, a brand new character at 80, 43 gold and 537 skill points. I mean, it's not so bad. I mean, it's bad any way you slice it. But if you've been playing the game for a while and things like that, it's not so bad because you probably have skill point scrolls that you can eat to get more skills, and you probably have at least 40 gold. I mean, or maybe not. Maybe you don't really, you just kind of play on a very casual level, and like you're happy that you hit 40 gold. You know what I mean?
Or
And
you're like me and you keep spending it.
that too, but like that's a sizable chunk. And if you
Yeah.
wanted to play it as like the new player experience, do you realize how difficult that's going to be to like not be like, oh, don't go to the bank, don't take out any more gold, or don't use gold, don't get any more skill points. Let's just play through it. But
Yeah, that's really uncool because I mean like I'm trying to play a character
mhm,
and actually when I read this um post, I immediately logged in to see like, oh my god, can I even look? Can I verify this kind of stuff? Because maybe he just like looked at like an OP trait or something like that. Um, because I expect every single trait has a different activity in which to unlock. But I can't even look. You can't look until you're level 30. It won't
yeah,
let you go into that tab at all.
yeah, and
And
yeah,
I wasn't even able to get to 30, and now I almost am like, do I even want to care that much? Like, it almost makes me regret remaking Surreptitious Pancakes because hearing all this, like, I'm never going to be able to test out the build that I intend for
mhm,
because the amount of work that would be needed. Because, like, one thing I loved about Guild Wars too, like even when you had to pay to reset your traits with the trait dude, is you were never locked into a certain build. So if you made a mistake, you're not effed. Like
yeah,
because like I mean I started out with RO and stuff like that where however you distributed your points, that was what you were getting. So if you messed up in the beginning, you're just SOL.
mhm,
And that's kind of like until you spend the year worth of time as a casual player unlocking all of these traits, that's kind of like how you are, because you can destroy your entire build by unlocking the wrong trait or not unlocking the right trait or what have you. And
mhm.
if it's going to be this big of a deal, like Frostgorge Sound running a level I don't know, say 40 through Frostgorge Sound. That's
Not
just
gonna happen.
suicide.
Yep. Yeah.
That map is level 75 to 80.
Mhm. I know.
Yeah. And
Uh,
Hammondy points out, forget about Ascended gear now.
Well, yeah. Well, he originally had said you'd probably be better off crafting your way to 80, and then then just flat out buy all your traits. And that's something that I used to do all the time. I have got 18 alts now, and
Right.
probably 5 of those were crafted to 80, just because it's easy and I love crafting in Guild Wars 2. But
Right.
now with the invention of Ascended stuff, that'll cost you more than 43 gold. It's probably in the 10 to 15 gold range to level armor or weaponsmithing, huntsman, and artificing, and then say maybe 5 gold for cooking, 7 gold for jewel crafting, and then probably around 10 gold for leather worker,
Yeah.
armor smith, and tailor. So you're looking at probably almost close to 100 gold to level all those. Um, and Tully again brings up a good point. Playing PvP is probably your fastest way to level right now. Play PvP, you get tomes of knowledge like crazy in that, doing the different reward tracks. So if you do that, just use that, save your tomes of knowledge, and then just use it to level your character. If you have the birthday scrolls, that's an instant. Again, new players doesn't really help, but birthday scrolls, boom, you're starting at 20. You do all your personal story at that point. That gets you pretty damn close to 30. Then, if you're thinking about crafting, I'll throw this out there. This is my strategy for new characters for me. Birthday scroll, because I have like a million of these from all the alts that I have. But again, this is for a player that's played the game.
Yeah.
Instant level 20, personal story through level 20 gets you about to level 30. Very close. Maybe do a little run around, do a little couple of hearts and some map completion stuff. You hit 30. Now you can unlock traits that previously you would have already had a decent amount of traits unlocked. Then go buy yourself some nice green gear that's level 30 from the trading post. Then craft yourself, which again now is only 7 levels for cooking because of Ascended cooking doesn't exist. But so craft yourself your 7 levels. So that gets you to level 37. Maybe play around with jewel crafting. It's the cheaper of the other ones. Again, only gets you 7 levels, and by this point you're now in your mid 40s, maybe 50s. You could probably run a couple of you could run AC, or go into AC on your level 80, get to the final boss, then swap out to your alt so you get the experience, and then just tomes of knowledge till you hit into the mid 70s, and then just run around and do a couple dungeons. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I do it. Like, I'm doing that right now with my second elementalist. I'm like 25 doing personal story, and that's my plan. Although I want to get her Ascended crafting stuff, so I'm probably going to spend the money to do tailoring and artificer. Thank you, Jal. Only 623 gold to get from level 1 to 80 on crafting.
Yeah.
So not really a viable option anymore. But we spent a lot of time talking on this. And we got a lot more to go through because Tori G, our wall of text expert. Oh boy, do we have some text. So a lot of good points to be made though. So I'm gonna go through all of it. So hang on to your butts. Been watching Jurassic Park lately, so little Sammy J action. I know you've missed my walls recently, and I feel like I have enough to say for a big one this week. It's taken me a while to absorb all the changes in the feature patch, and to be honest, I'm not even close to experiencing it all. There are so many things to have as goals, and I don't even know what to do when I log on. So a friend of mine recently got the game after the feature patch, and I have been playing a new character through the leveling experience with him, and it is very insightful hearing some of his thoughts compared to other MMOs. Things I think we all take for granted now. Every time we play, he says things like, "Why doesn't every MMO do this, or that, or this other thing?" Anyways, while we were playing, I found the first part of the patch that actually made me sit back and think, why? It was how traits unlock, and this is kind of what we talked about, now works with some characters. Do I really need to map complete a level 60 to 70 zone for an adept level trait? This is a level 60 boss, or do a level 70 to 80 boss for an adept or master tier trait? Why do most of these master tier traits involve level 80 content? And the big one, no matter what profession I am, each trait 1 to 13 in each trait line 1 to 5 involves completing the same content. No flavor based on the profession you choose at all. See? Great minds think alike. Then I took a step back, took a deep breath, and thought about what the developers have said about the game from the beginning. Then these design choices start to make sense. Trait tiers now unlock at 30, 60, and 80, so acquisition being weighted towards the endgame experience makes sense. This gives players, especially new players, something to work toward at max level, while working towards their first exotic set. Secondly, we can all just buy the traits at Adept, they are pretty cheap, to skip out on stuff like map completion, and having big goals like map completion versus a few silver and a skill point creates incentive to use the gold sync. The original gold sync on trait manuals is now gone. And in my opinion, any opportunity cost is good for the game. Now for the big one. I will start with some math here. There are 65 major traits per profession. 13 traits times 5 lines. So currently, there are 65 tasks total across all professions to unlock traits. Potentially, there could have been 65 times 8, which is 520 potential tasks, if each week ways of unlocking their traits. I may have said something about this in chat on the last show. It was awesome being able to watch live, by the way, and we thank you. But I do not know that ArenaNet has a rule. But I do know that ArenaNet has a rule that they do not want to introduce content that separates players or in any way disincentivizes people playing together. Now, the current implementation means that if I'm leveling a thief and my friend is leveling a ranger, we can do the same content and still get rewarded in the same manner for it. While I more or less agree with the design decision and find it well justified within the design pillars of the game, now that I've thought about it, I think it could be implemented better. My idea would be the 65 tasks are still the same, but for each profession the trait that is unlocked is assigned to the task by some sort of flavor or lore relevant reason, not just because it's trait number 3 or number 10, etc. An example of this would be one of the adept level speed buff traits for each profession could be tied to defeating Olgoth, because then you could outrun a centaur. I also think an interesting idea would be for the 15 Grandmaster traits to be unlocked by very individualized specific things for each profession. For example, a series of instances that you unlock at level 80. The player could go to the leaders of each racial city, the leaders of each order, and the important members of the pack, as well as important NPCs from the minor races, Ogres, Quaggins, Skrit, Hylek, and Grawl. They would get access to a series of story-style missions that would reward the appropriate Grandmaster trait. This would also add a lot of flavor to otherwise low-key characters like Queen Jenna, Smodar the Unflinching, the Pale Tree, Newt Whitebear, and a High Counselor Flax, as well as characters like Bygarth the Norn and Aizu Steelshrike the Tengu, who are smiths that work with the Pact. And again, Bygarth, if you recognize that name, is actually one of the Ascended style gear. Bygarth's gear is I think the Knights type of gear is Bygarth's gear.
Yeah. There's another packed dude who has Ascended gear as well.
Okay.
But that's off topic.
Alright. And, well, I think that's enough WoW for now. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. It's kind of a doozy. Oh well, long show this week, I guess. Yeah, I get, I thought about it too after the fact, and I agree that I get why they don't want to separate people, but I love what you came up with Grandmaster traits having like a story instance. I think that would be huge.
Mm-hmm.
Can they do it now? Yes. Will they do it now? Probably not. But it would be great to have more, end game content. But I guess we'll have to. Unfortunately, I love to spend forever talking about this, but there's just unfortunately nothing that can be done about it. But I do think that this is an excellent idea. It would give you something to do at 80. It'd make you have flavor text. It would again bolster some of the story behind these NPCs that nobody really recognizes anymore or talks about.
Well, they seem so important, and then they're not. There's one who's in terms of the Pact. Blacksmith, the one that's mentioned there, Occam, you meet in your personal story. The others I've never met in any of my other personal stories. They show up randomly in the Pact meeting on that one mission where you're introduced to them when Traherne needs you to go ask if everyone likes him or not. And then that's it. They never show up again.
Yeah.
So it's all why are we introduced to these people? Occam makes sense, sort of, because depending on which personal story you do as a Sylvari, you actually meet him and save his story before. But aside from that, these are just random NPCs that are important because they have a name instead of NPC 1 and NPC 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a good idea. It really is. And unfortunately, I don't even think there's a way you could make it, a new, even something you had to buy, because I feel like that would piss people off. But that's something I would pay for. But It is what it
Yeah,
is.
but you would pay for a lot of things.
I do pay for a lot of things. It's bad. It really is. Guild Wars 1 was good. There was like content came out like once a year, and it was minimal. You know, like here's some books to give you some brand new awesome story content to let you play through a lot of the heroes of the game that you don't know about, and you get badass weapon skins at the end. But that's like it. And then it's like there's a couple of costumes.
Yeah.
Whatever, not something every Tuesday. But anyway, um, we got some comments on YouTube, so I'm gonna let you read the first one because I don't even
You
know.
need a break?
Well, there's that, and I'm not good with Spanish.
Uh,
Just the name. I just don't want to
yeah.
massacre it.
No, I can read it. It's pretty short. El Cronista del Ascalon. Hi, I like your website very much because it's very similar to my own blog. Greetings from Spain. I hope I didn't really bastardize your name there, dear.
Yeah, and here is the link. It's Memories of Tyria.
Yeah.
And I actually thank you again. I noticed we were actually linked on his page
Yeah.
under All Things Guild Wars 2, so I returned the favor, and you are now linked on Chronicles of Tyria. So if you read Spanish, if you are Spanish or from Spain or anything like that, or you have Google Translate, like I do, you can go and check out his website. There's lots of cool stuff. It goes all the way back to Guild Wars 1. It's very interesting. I like the layout and how things were done like before, like the timelines and things. So yeah, I would definitely go check that out. And again, there'll be a link in the description, and there's a link on Chronicles of Tyria's website. So yeah. Well, another comment from Tori G. It's much shorter this time on YouTube. It was great being there for a live show, was listening as well as we were doing Tequaddle. Now that my schedule isn't busy, I'll try to be there for more. On the topic of doing a Let's Play of Guild Wars 2, I would love to tag along if it's at a time that I can play. I re-rolled 2 of my characters to see the game from a fresh perspective. I've also been meaning to say what's up in game, love the shows, keep it up. Yes, actually, we'll talk about that in just a second, but we are doing a Let's Play for Guild Wars 2, as you kind of heard before. And it looks, you know what, I'm going to wait till the first episode releases before we start talking about when we're recording it, if people want to come run around with us in game. But, like, we barely did one episode because of internet issues by a certain Australian person.
Yeah.
So,
but we're still picking up people.
That's
We had
true.
one chick follow us around.
All over the place, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it was awesome. We're like, we have a groupie, and we haven't even done anything yet.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we'll let you know. It hasn't, for those of you who are wondering, it hasn't released yet because I've been spending a lot of time working on an intro video for it, like its full original intro, and it's been a lot of editing, and I need to film for 3 more people in game to get the intro to where I need it to be. So be on the lookout. My hope is to release it next week, but I'm not committing to that just because I have to get everybody in the room at the same time.
And you have to not get distracted.
Yeah, well, I was going to try to film some more intro footage last night, but I actually got into my first ever successful 3-headed jungle worm event.
Yeah.
I just happened to load into the game because I was going to, like, go do that, and then I saw, like, a bunch of people were in Bloodtide Coast, and I was like, oh my god, it must be the worm. I'm going.
Yeah.
So I jump over there, and it turns out TTS was doing the worm, and I said, okay, well, I've killed several jungle worm heads before, but never, like, everybody, like, I would get in, like, in the beginning, I, like, right to start, I would command a lot of that. So I would go in, I would play, we'd kill the worm, and then, like, nobody else would kill the worm, and then we would just fail. So we actually completed it, and I got the Cobalt Mini Jungle Worm head, you know, the mini, which apparently, I guess there's, like, 1 of each head released per, like, event, I guess. I don't know if it's 1 total mini, or like a cobalt, a crimson, and an amber. But I got one, which I was not aware was like. I was just like, oh, I got this, and then like Alucardalina was just like, I hate you, because apparently it's worth like 100 gold. So
Wow.
yeah, and I have absolutely no need for it, so that's gonna be making me some money. But yeah, so that was cool. So be on the lookout. I'm sorry, pirate. I will be next week. I'm hopeful again. Yeah, everybody's so mad at me. I didn't even know it was a thing. Like I was like, oh look what I was like. People are like, oh, linking what they got, and I was like, oh, like, I got a couple of rares, and I got this, exotic necklace that I guess I don't know what the stats are. And then I was like, oh, and I got this jungle worm, and Alucardalina's response is just no. And I'm like, okay. And then like MB was like, wait, did you just get that? And I was like, yeah. I was like, what's the deal? Like, I really, like, not just being a jerk, like, I really didn't know, because this is the first time I've ever done it. And he's like, oh, only one drops the entire thing. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, only one drops. And I was like, oh. And I look it up, and I'm like, oh, well. Thank you, Jungle Worm. You are gonna be padding my bank. So anyway, that was awesome, and thank you, TTS. We talked about it a little bit last night, and I'll just throw this out here now before we keep moving on. We have Chronicles of Tyria has the Guild World events unlocked, and we actually have some of those queued up. So we talked about potentially kind of sponsoring, I guess you could say. We had to work out with some TTS people, but like sponsoring a TTS worm run or something like that, or a tech run. Like, we don't have the manpower in Chronicles of Tyria to do this and the organization to do this, but we can spring the event.
Yeah.
So, we can say like, hey, TTS, we've got this. A bunch of our people are available. Are you around? Why don't we shoot for X time, and let's do the worm, and we'll get everybody together, and then we'll go drop it, and then, they'll help us complete it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be awesome. I'd be all for that. Again, that's behind the scenes stuff.
That's
but,
awesome.
Yeah, especially because, a lot of people, I don't know how many people in Chronicles of Tyria have actually done it successfully, and I know a lot of people want to, but again, we don't have the organization and the manpower to do that, but TTS does, so we'd gladly, help sponsor that for them, so.
Well, and I expect that a lot of the TTS also don't have the regular representation enough to be able to have the resources to set one off themselves. Because, like, how many people just permanently sit in TTS?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's true. I know a lot of people are just there for the events, and that's it, so. Yeah, okay, apparently Jal says only the Cobalt Mini was released. The Amber and Crimson were data mined, but they're not in game. So yeah, only one of that mini pet drops, and I got it last night. Yay me! RNG is strong with this one. Anyway, let's move on. I guess I'll just run through this quick, and then we can talk about the other stuff. But Fishbait says, this was a comment too. We showed the video that Dolby put out with all the ranks, and it says beer rank. I want that. And then a hiccup. I still think the best finisher is the cow teabagging. You missed another way to get dyes, cooking. Yes, you can get dyes through cooking. If you
I thought I mentioned that.
I think you might have, but that's irrelevant. Alright, so I'm going to let Saune talk about this one, because I'm going to post a link, but our new comic came out on Wednesday.
Well, what do you need me to say?
I don't know, just whatever.
We have another comic! Yes.
Yeah, there it is, there's the link. You guys can check that out.
Yeah.
Again, just a reminder, we release on Wednesdays, so.
Yeah, we release sometime on Wednesday, depending on how well we have our shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah, every Wednesday. I'm looking forward. We'll have plot coming soon, and so on and so forth. Thank you everyone again for your entries. They were a lot of fun back when we did the contest.
Mhm.
So yeah, you notice there's a little bit of a format change. We have a name now. No gathering tool equipped.
Mhm.
So a new banner will be showing up soon as I finish designing one,
Mhm.
and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah. We're testing it out, the new 8-panel format, to see if that's doable.
Yeah. Let's see if we can do this without breaking Saune.
Yeah,
Yay!
because she, again, and I know I get a lot of flack for monopolizing all of her time, as you can clearly see with all the stuff I force her into
Yeah.
doing. She came up with that on her own. That was not me, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that was you.
I was the one that decided to give the 8 a shot. Actually, Anavari had originally asked if we can do 8-panel on occasion when it was demanded, but I was all like, you know what? If I simplify things a little further, maybe I can do 8 panels in the same time it was taking me to do 4 panels, and then we can deliver an even better product to our viewers.
Mhm.
So,
So, yeah.
yeah.
All right, and up next, and again, I guess I should just mention this. Let me pull this up. It should be easy. Make this full page just to show you guys something in case you don't know, because I added this recently to the main Chronicles Interior website. And again, we're kind of in a process of restructuring some things and altering the way some of that looks. Oops, that's not what I wanted. This. In the top right of the main Chronicles Interior website over here, you'll see, we reworked some of the stuff at the top here to set some stuff out. But over here, there's a calendar, and this is hooked up live to the Chronicles Interior Google Calendar. And if you scroll over here, Saturday, look at that. COT podcast live from 10 a.m. to 11:30 as the location. And if you look and you're in our guild, or you feel like you want to join, look at that. We're doing guild missions at 8 o'clock. And then look at tomorrow. Carolina's chapter, her newest chapter is going to get released. And then Amy's on Monday. And look at that. The new webcomic comes out on Wednesday. And again, I've been updating this kind of live. You can go through and see where all of the events and things are releasing month by month here. And if you were to, say you were to click on this and go to more details, it'll actually open up the Google Calendar information so you can see all that stuff. So there you go. Just a heads up for you guys.
Yeah, Leg's been doing a lot of mucking about in the background. So when you can't find him, that's probably what he's doing.
Yeah.
Rearranging stuff in the background, a lot of stuff that you don't see, you won't ever see because it's all logistics stuff in the back.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So, yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit of information from ArenaNet, and again, I'll link this, which this was kind of a shocker to me, that the mega servers are completely rolled out already.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They were like, we're going to do a staged approach, and they're like, JK, 2 weeks later, everything's done.
Yeah, I guess things weren't breaking as much as they thought that it might.
Yeah. Yeah, Jal says trying to not break the website. I haven't broken it yet. I've added a lot of things without breaking the COT website, so far so good. But yeah, mega servers all over the place, so be on the lookout for players everywhere. This weekend, there's a sale, so I'll post up about that. This is the Gathering Tool sale. So they're bringing back the Molten Alliance Mining Pick, the Consortium Harvesting Sickle, and the Chop It All Logging Axe are available now through the 28th. And I don't know if they're on sale or not, but these are...
No, they're still 1,000 each.
But they were previously unattainable because they were in, and they've made several ones since then, but...
yeah, for those collectors out there, these were the very first of their kind, these ones. Oh, that's why they're being brought back, even though we just finished, selling one. These were the very first ones. There are also, I think, some of them, like the gathering tool, the sickle, is faster than the other like the other gathering tools.
Okay.
That's the one where people just like run up, swing their shovel, and run off, and then like water spouts. Like it's super fast.
Yeah.
Um, so and then they changed that. They made them slower. I don't know why.
Well.
But yeah.
They also put out some new items in the gem store, which we kind of mentioned on Tuesday. So here's the link for that. Lawless helm and lawless shoulders. Kind of look really stupid, if you ask me.
Yeah. I mean, the helm looks really stupid. The shoulders, at least on some of the characters that I looked on it, don't look too bad. But okay, there's this real problem that I have. They just automatically default assign a weighting to these things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they assume all of those pretty masquerade masks or light armor, the lawless stuff, or heavy armor. So I can't ever see what it looks like with the stuff I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Because it's defaulting to an armor class that isn't what I'm wearing. And it's pissing me off because this is why Delphi has to keep putting up the chat codes and such.
Yeah.
Because we literally can't use the store to look.
Well, you could use the wardrobe.
I guess.
I mean, that's the whole point of it, after all.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah, well, true. The Executioner's outfit, which was from Halloween last year, made a comeback. I feel like be on the lookout for this, because I feel like most of the things that were outfits that can then be applied to your whole armor as a whole, and, you know, kind of replace your current armor set, I feel like all of these are going to slowly be making a return to the gem store, because the wardrobe system allows you to use them.
Yeah, because it was the fluffy winter clothes, and then it... Is this the second or the third one that they've released?
I think this is the second. I think it was the winter's outfit, then this one.
Yeah.
Which again, remember, the hood that you get, like the head, you don't have to wear that with the armor. And I think you can actually get that as its own piece of headgear. So like you can wear that with your regular armor. I believe. I'm not sure. I don't know. Because isn't the because there was the festive Winter's Day hat, right?
Mm.
And was that just something you could buy by itself, or did you only get that from the fancy Winter's Day outfit?
That's the outfit. If it's part of the outfit, even hats included, it becomes part of the outfit. Like, you can't ever separate it out.
Okay. Because you can, that is a piece of headgear, like, separately, if you look in the headgear, festive hat.
No, there's a different festive hat, I thought.
Okay. Maybe there was, it was so long ago, I don't remember.
Yeah, I think there was a different festive hat, because, like, there's a separate witch's hat, which is slightly different than the witch's outfit hat.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can still hide the gloves and hats of your outfits, but you have to hide the armor before you apply, like, the outfit. That's how that works.
Right.
If you want to hide those things. So.
Yeah. And new dies, new Lion's Arch enameled commemorative dies.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, really RNG on these, and some of them don't look that great, so it's really... What are these? Are these red and blue, these ones?
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah. It should be technically blue and yellow.
Yeah, but...
It's supposed to be Lion Guard colors.
Yeah. I feel like they've released Lion Guard ones already, like a couple times.
Yeah!
So,
I thought they already had these.
last week to get your mini avian 3-pack, and I was going to say, this thing says there was a free Magic Find booster, but actually yesterday there was a free Black Lion key.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Get this, I opened up a chest with my free Black Lion key, and I got a Black Lion key out of the chest.
You're a jerk leg.
Yeah. I guess I am. I can't hear you over the sound of my mini jungle worm head rolling around on the ground. Anyway.
This is why our guild doesn't get super nice things. You take it all. With your luck.
I supply a lot of nice things for these parties. Almost all those come out of my pocket.
I know, I'm teasing you.
Or Black Lion chests, which are out of my pocket. But whatever, it's irrelevant. That's what happens. That's why you support Evan Ashblade. But anyway, again, I just posted the link for the Tournament of Legends, which is actually happening right now. So you can go check that out. The Twitch channels are in that link. And again, you can win great things like precursors and other things. So check that out. I don't know how many precursors they're giving away or the timing on it. So you may have to watch the whole thing. Or at least just kind of keep it in the background and like sort of pay attention to it. And then when they're like, we're giving something away, and then be like, oh my god, I gotta go do that. So yeah. But yeah, that was that. Saune, did you have any news or things that you came across?
Oh, I got a transmutation charge out of my daily yesterday.
Okay, which is something I didn't know. I guess you could get transmutation stones that way.
Did you? I never did.
I think you could. I don't know, but I guess this would have had to have been a crystal, right? Because the stones you would have had to get 3 to make it a charge.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I don't remember getting any of that kind of stuff there. So I was super excited and really happy to see that. So yeah.
Yeah. Again, Tully kind of just brought it up nonchalantly there, but we are coming up to our 2nd year anniversary of Chronicles of Tyria, so we will be doing another in-game party. Maybe I'll even stream it this time. Who knows? But you don't have to be a member of Chronicles of Tyria to come to the party. But now that we have restructured the way our guild runs, it's not really it's not really difficult to join. You just basically have to say, I want to join Chronicles of Tyria. I mean, there is a list of rules, don't get me wrong, like being 18 plus and things like that. But if you want to join Chronicles of Tyria, that's basically it. And then there are rules once you join, like there's a 2-week probationary period, yada yada yada. This is all on our forums. I'm actually going to have a link to this and like the information on the main CoT website, so you can just go to chroniclesoftyria.com and then go to About the Guild, and then it'll have that information there.
Right.
But yeah, we kind of restructured things. We're working on, the ranks have been redone, and we kind of removed a lot of the inactive player base. And no, Pirate, I'm not giving away the Worm Mini. If I get another one, which, hey, who knows, right? Then maybe I'll give one away. But I did actually find something interesting before we kind of get towards the end and close this out. Just something simple that surprised me the other day. I don't know if you guys know, but typically if you opened up the one of the like Quaggan backpacks or the Char backpack skins, it's the set, and then you double click it and open it, and then you get the backpack straps, the white just no statted backpack items, and then the actual skin. And I always assumed that that was the only way to get those backpack straps. Well, lo and behold, I find out I go to a white armor smith, just like the regular armor smith that just sells you white gear for whatever level you're at, and they have backpack straps that you can just buy. So if you have like a new level character and you're like, oh, I just want to have a cool back piece on my low level character while I level, you can just go buy white backpack straps from an armor smith, clip them to your back, and then use your wardrobe to attach the to put whatever skin on that you want. So I thought that was pretty cool. So just a little something that I feel like stealthily came into the game and I don't remember ever hearing about.
I don't think it ever showed up because I read those patch notes pretty faithfully.
Yeah, it was probably a while back.
Wonder what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. And then for our Gw2 Craft Corner, we have oh, Jeff says they added that with the feature patch. Well, that explains why I hadn't seen it previously.
Yeah.
We have a piece of art for this is from Isriana on DeviantArt, and again I'll link this in the description. But first, I'm gonna here you go. This is the comic, and I laughed so hard when I first saw this. It just, oh, Logan.
But it's also true, because when I first found out about that achievement, that's exactly how I was. And that was even before you got points. It was all like, that's a thing?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, the comic is titled Ambient Killer. And I actually did a little snooping around Isriana's DeviantArt page, and there's lots of comics. If you could just kind of see in the bottom right here from her, I mean, there's some pretty awesome art. Like, look at that. It's pretty neat. Sylvari drawing. Um, you know, lots of well-drawn art, and then this whole little, like, comic series covers SWTOR, it covers Guild Wars, you know, lots of interesting stuff. So be sure to check her out. Feel free to kind of follow her on DeviantArt and let her know that we sent you. It's a thing about Tybalt and the drunk mission, all sorts of interesting stuff.
I love that mission. Oh.
So, so yeah, I would be sure to check her out and let her know that Chronicles of Tyria sent you. But yeah, I think that's pretty much. Yes, Pirate. Sorry, you were in the beginning. Yes, the opinion was yes. More gold making videos, always great. So
Always.
for whatever you're thinking, please. My hair is standing up like crazy in the back of this. Yeah. So please feel free to make another video, especially because it's be more updated with kind of the tactics that are working currently. So. But yeah, Saune, do you want to talk about your art? So that for those of you that are everybody that's watching wants to see what's going on with the speed doodle.
Sure. I had some other ideas, but then when Lag was all like super early morning, and I'm all like, do I have to? Yeah, I'll go do it because I love CoT. I decided that I'd do a sleepy character, and this is actually Pancake, as far as I can remember, because I didn't bother pulling up a reference for her in her MIG onesie, just waking up. I was all like, I want to draw an Asura in a onesie, all like sleepy and shit, and I asked Leg what kind of onesie a Asura would wear, and he said Golem. So I'm doing the MIG for my personal story, so it felt appropriate.
All right.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah. So,
And Pirate.
So, all right, guys. I think that's pretty much it for us. Just about an hour. I'm impressed. We managed to keep it pretty short, considering.
Yeah, which I appreciate because I have to go to work.
Yeah, I have to. I don't know what I have to do. Log on to the Tournament of Legends and try to win the precursors. Oh, I decided I'm going for a legendary. That's happening now. I have never wanted one really because I didn't like. I mean, I liked the legendaries, but there was nothing that like I had to have, and a lot of the weapons that I use. There goes my dogs. A lot of the weapons that I use, they're the legendaries I don't particularly like. Like my favorite weapon, probably all around, is the hammer because I'm a hammer guardian all the way. And the Juggernaut, I'm not like a huge fan. I love Mjolnir, but it's like 8 billion charged lodestones. So, yes, thank you, Jal. You saw that in my tab. I am going for the Dreamer because I love me some My Little Pony, as most of you know. And you know what? Just does not want me to talk. But anyway, 1 second. Hey, what are you doing? Come here. Come on. Yeah, I know. It's sad. She went to the gym. Come on. Anyway, yes, I love me some of the Dreamer, and you know what? I've read some stuff recently because the short bow is actually my favorite weapon for the Ranger, even though I PvP as a Ranger and don't use the short bow. I recently found out through playing around with some builds and stuff that the short bow has become a much more viable weapon for the Ranger due to the 2 sigils and some of the reworks of the sigils. you know, like having bleeding, 60% chance on crit to bleed or whatever. So I'm very excited to once again be able to go for a legendary and actually get a short bow to work for my ranger. Because right now I do have the Gw2's short bow, the skin, so which is awesome, and I have to rework. And there's, you know, because I haven't played my ranger in so long, I'm like, oh, wow, there's I mean, my dogs usually are in the background. I could probably go get them on the podcast if you really wanted. They're both upstairs. But anyway, the other thing I really like is the Dreamer. Not that difficult to go for when it comes as far as legendaries, because the stuff you need specifically, Chrysocolla and Opal Orbs, like 100 of each. That's like nothing. Like I
Those are
have
pretty
that.
frequent.
I have those already. Like, and it's the gift of wood. Compared to, like, you know, orichalcum or needing 100 unidentified dyes or, you know, other things.
Honestly, I find out orichalcum a lot easier than wood for some reason. But yeah. Yeah, if it's 100% gathering rather than random drop, definitely a lot easier.
Well, and I mean, you know, I have a lot of stuff just from, you know, gathering, because I don't often, like, a lot of the times I mostly just craft cooking and jeweling, so I have a lot of the, like, the wood just sits around in my bank. So, yeah, I'm excited. I think I could probably craft the Gift of the Dreamer tonight. Just go do it right now. And then it'll just be, the hardest thing for me is going to be acquiring the, just the tier 6 mats. Because, I mean, yes, I guess the precursor is probably pretty difficult, but, I can just buy that outright. I'll just go do that. But with my luck that I've had with precursors coming out of the Mystic Forge, considering I've gotten 2 already in 20 minutes from one another, I might as well give it a try. Plus, I mean, I could just sell both of those precursors to fund this one. So, yeah.
Sometimes I hate you so much.
I'm sorry, guys. I really, it's Saturday morning. I have had 1 cup of coffee and nothing to eat. I haven't gone to the gym yet, so I'm a little sassy today.
Yeah, I've had 2 cups of coffee and I did eat, just because it was all like, I know I need to, or else I'm gonna like go into a caffeine comatose halfway through podcast.
Yeah. Saune, you talked to Bromms recently, right? We were just talking about this before.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
I miss him most of the time because of working so much right now, but he's doing pretty awesome.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, he's hopefully he'll be back to us soon.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, things are going well. I mean, best as they can be in the current situation. So you know, we'll try to have him back here. You know, knock on wood, maybe he'll be back for episode 100. You know,
maybe.
that'd be great.
I mean, he's staying at home with his parents, just because it's easier. You know, you don't have to worry about cooking for yourself or anything like that.
True.
So that's predominantly why he's not on, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, like I said, we'll keep you all posted as he gets better and we find out more about him. So yeah, next week I'll grab my dogs and I'll bring them on the show if you guys really want. And again, be on the lookout for more information regarding what time the show is going to be next week, because I was out of the area on work this past Thursday, Friday. I was staying at a hunting lodge in the middle of the woods in a very nice area of New York, because I had to design the entire budget for my company, and they say, you know what's good? A non-stressful environment. Let's go have lobster and filet mignon and drink scotch and work on the budget. And I was like, I'm in. Let's do it. So actually that's what they want to do. It's the same kind of thing next week. So if I don't stay overnight there, then I can come back here and do the podcast. But if I do, then, you know, But again, I'll be right at the same time as the Tournament of Legends for North America next week. So I would say let's just do it before, but that would make Saune get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and she was already.
I already get up at 7 o'clock in the morning just to like.
Oh well,
be
then
ready
you
for
guess
that.
you'll have no problem getting up at 7 o'clock next week. Come do a show, huh? What do you think about that? Put your money where
You're
your mouth
doing most
is.
of the talking then.
Yeah, well, I like to hear myself
More
talk.
so than now.
Yeah,
I already make you do most of the talking. Like, sure, I'll come here and just not say a damn thing.
Well, you know, that's kind of how it goes. So, alright guys, we've kind of dragged this on for another 15 minutes of just being silly. Later tonight is Chronicles of Tyria Guild missions. If you guys want to come join us, you can hit us up in game. And I hear that a couple of people in our guild actually want to do a raw story mode to unlock the raw PvP track permanently. And I haven't done a raw story mode since launch, and I'm thinking I may stream it. So be on the lookout for much later this evening, a CoT stream of a raw story mode. So, and I'll probably be around today, popping in and out of PvP. If you guys are PvP players and you want to join up with me, it's just lagywn in game. Just come find me, and let's play some PvP together. So, but on that note, again, continuing to drag things out, for the 93rd episode of the Chronicles of Tyria podcast, I have been lagywn.
And I'm Saune.
And we will see you next time. I need to hack this to put this in Rock Band so that I can play this in Rock Band. I've been meaning to hack Rock Band lately because that's a thing you can do where you can like upload your own music.
That seems like a lot of work.
Well, people have already done it. Alright guys, just a reminder again. Head over to twitch.tv/guildwars2 to check out the Tournament of Legends, and hopefully be one of the lucky ones who wins precursors and whatever else they're giving away. See you next time.